I don't know how to begin this video because I have so many thoughts in my head, but yesterday I spent all day here. I don't know if it happens to you, but when you go home, you tend to think about past experience when you were a child, your parents, all that. The reason why I'm doing this video is because although I'm a person that promotes looking and feeling your best on the outside through my products, I can't deny that in order for you to look and feel your best on the outside, you need to feel the best on your inside. A lot of our insecurities and the way that we handle certain relationships while we're older have a lot to do of our relationships with our parents when we are young. On Sunday, I went to lunch with my cousin, which her mom passed away from cancer when she was 6, and we were discussing how our experiences as child have a lot to do with how we manage our personal relationships, work relationships, our couple relationships, our relationship with others while we're old. In her case, she was explaining to me how she wasn't able to really say goodbye to her mom at the moment, and she always has this abandonment trigger. That made me think of my situation and what childhood traumas do I have that have been reflected in me in my adult relationships. I spent all day yesterday watching videos of when I was little. I was born and raised in Miami, and when I was 13, I came here, and my dad passed away due to terrorism when I was 15. So definitely the first one is, I don't know if I should express it as the fear of abandonment or the fear of just losing somebody that I love. That is reflected in my current relationships, for example, with Cupid. I have this thing of losing my dog that it's beyond me. Like, I'm always scared of him getting lost, of him dying, of somebody robbing him. So I started thinking, like, why does that become so strong? Like, why is that feeling so strong now that I'm an adult? And I started reflecting as my dad passing, and the reason is because first of all, my parents got separated when I was very young, and that caused me a huge trauma. I'm very pro-family, and I always wanted to have my complete family. Like, I wanted my mom, my dad, my brother. The fact that separated, that broke my heart. And then that not being healed, when my dad passed away when I was 15, it was out of nowhere. I was not expecting it. My dad died because the guerrilla shot him. That he was gonna get kidnapped and he didn't want to when he was drunk, and they shot him. So that created in me this fear of losing the people that I love most, a fear of abandonment, I guess. And I reflect that a lot, not only with Cupid, but with my relationship sometimes with when I have a partner, the few times that I've had one. I also always dream with my dad that every time I see him in my dreams, he's alive, but he left to another continent to live with another family. That's all I dream. He leaves me either notes saying, I'm very proud of you, I miss you, or the few times that I've actually seen him, he's in a rush, he needs to go somewhere, he needs to leave. His time is up, he can't be anymore with me, and I keep asking him, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? So I definitely feel that that's one of my biggest traumas, is my dad passing away, the separation, then him passing. That left me a huge trauma in my current relationships. The second one is approval trauma by my mom. I wanted to focus mostly on this one because I know for a fact that a lot of you follow me and you guys admire so much me and my mom's relationship, but I'm the type of person that I'd like to express and tell you guys everything, and I'd like to be very real for several reasons. The first one is because I like to be open, and I don't want you guys to think it's always been rainbows and butterflies. Second, because I feel that sometimes you go on the internet with your issues and you see everybody having such a good life and you think that everything's perfect on their end, and it makes your insecurities and your lack of even worse. So I'm here to tell you that it's not always been rainbows and butterflies, and it has taken me a lot of forgiving, a lot of healing, in order to be in the place where I am now. I was watching yesterday videos of when I was little, and nothing has changed. Like, the only thing that has changed is me maturing and accepting my mom's personality. But I was seeing videos of when I was little, and I'm gonna show you one. She was criticizing me because my teeth were falling and I had holes, and she's like, oh my god, stop smiling, like, you don't look cute. Like, And I just saw that. And then this week, also, my niece comes and she's always like with her hair. And she's like, oh my God, you need to pick up that hair. So I spoke with my brother and I'm like, how does she feel about it? And he's like, yeah, she sometimes doesn't like the fact that her grandmother is like always criticizing her. And I told my brother, I finally realized this week that she came over that it was never me. It's always been her. I'm sure a lot of you that have Latina moms, you can attest to this, but definitely growing up with a mom that's very strict, very OCD, very perfectionist, like you've spent your entire life searching for that approval on your mom's end. Watching those videos made me realize that nothing really has changed on her end, but things have changed on my end. When I was little or when I was growing up, I would get mad, or every time that she would do something, like I would react. I would be very reactive. I would react in an angry way. Yesterday, in fact, was one of those days. I did the bed. She didn't like it. She redid it. She was criticizing my lashes that they were falling off. She said to grab my hair. She said that I'm very disorganized. And yesterday, the only thing I said is like, Mom, you've been criticizing me all day. Like, enough. And she's like, oh my God, yes, I'm so sorry. But that's when I realized like I have changed, because in the past I would blow up and then we would get at it. So I think the lesson here is you can't stress over things you can't control. You just have to change what you can change. In this case, parents, I think it's very difficult for them to change, but you can change the way you react to how they act. Like I said before, I would be very reactive, but now it's like I assume things in a different way, and I'm more acceptant and more forgiving and more healing, and I just try to dialogue with her and just tell her the things that I don't like without being reactive. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I know a lot of you guys admire our relationship, but I just wanted to be real that it's taken a long time for me to get here. And sometimes you see everybody like just so happy and everything so perfect, but it takes a long time to get there. In fact, yesterday I was speaking with my brother while we were in the car, and he told me that my sister-in-law has the same issues with her mom. And I know for a fact that many women have the same approval trigger with their mom. Speaking with him, he also made me realize that when you're in a situation like this, because I told him we have to be understanding also because you don't know the traumas that they went through when they were growing up. But he told me, he's like, that's not an excuse. My parents were never very cariñosos, like very warm with us. Yet my brother is completely the opposite with his children. So he told me, you always have the choice. Either you continue the same pattern and then blame your parents for being like that, or number two, you break the pattern and then you start the story from scratch all over again. And that's exactly what he did, which I admire my brother so much, because we have the same childhood, yet he was able to break those patterns with his children. I'm still kind of healing. I think the majority of my life I went with option number one, always blaming them and saying that's the reason for my current relationships. But in the recent years, I've taken that as a lesson that I need to break the pattern, and that's kind of like where I am now. I'm just more accepting and seeing what I can change, how I can change. I can't change her. You can't change your parents, but you can change the way that you react to their actions. Anyways, this was a long ass video, but I really felt the need to do it. I don't want my page only to be physical and aesthetic. If I can use my platform to make somebody else feel great about themselves and to heal and to move forward from their current situation, if it's shitty with your parents or whatever, just there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Like I said, you just need to do that soul searching. Search for pictures of when you were little. Try to remember how that certain situation made you feel. That conversation that I had Sunday really opened up my mind and my soul to like finding out answers to all my questions. And why am I like this today? Like, why am I like sometimes scared of Cupid, or why am I sometimes a stalker? why do I do this? Why do I do that? And although a lot of my answers are my relationships with my parents, we need to find a way to heal and to move forward. In conclusion, if in your current relationships you are always searching, for example, for approval from your boss, from your significant other, if you always have this obsessive fear of losing somebody, if you have commitment issues, find the root of the issue. Find the root of where is that feeling coming from, and remember to heal, forgive, and forget. Don't let pride, ego, anger get in the way of your healing process, because the universe will continue to place these same situations over and over again in your life until you learn your lesson.